What's the most exploited you felt during a training opportunity? I found out when Captain Miller convinced 20 of us to volunteer for what he called Advanced Leadership Development Training at Fort Bragg. The pitch sounded amazing. 3 weeks of specialized instruction, small unit tactics, leadership under pressure. He said it would fast-track our promotions and look incredible on our service records. We were all junior enlisted guys desperate to advance. When Miller asked for volunteers, hands shot up immediately. I was one of the first to sign up, thinking this was my big break. Day 1 should have been a red flag. Instead of reporting to a classroom or training facility, we met at Captain Miller's off-base house. Nice place, probably worth $500,000. He explained that leadership training required real-world problem solving. Our first exercise would be renovating his basement into a proper training facility for future classes. Sounded legitimate enough. We'd learn construction skills, project management, teamwork, all valuable leadership experience, right? Wrong. Week 1 was demolition, tearing out old drywall, ripping up carpet, hauling debris, 12-hour days of pure manual labor. When someone asked about the actual leadership curriculum, Miller said physical work built character first. Week 2 got worse. We were installing new flooring, painting walls, building custom shelving. Miller would disappear for hours while we worked. His wife kept bringing us lemonade and cookies, thanking us for the beautiful renovation. That's when it clicked. This wasn't training. We were free construction workers. By week 3, we were installing a full entertainment system. 65-inch TV, surround sound, wet bar, leather furniture. Miller's personal man cave built with unpaid military labor disguised as leadership development. The final insult came on graduation day. Instead of certificates or training records, Miller handed us each a beer and said the real reward was the experience we'd gained. No documentation, no entries in our service files, nothing. Just a finished basement worth probably $30,000 in renovations. Specialist Parker was the first to speak up. "Sir, where are our training certificates?" Miller laughed it off. "The knowledge you gained is worth more than any piece of paper." That night, Parker and I did some research. Turns out this violated about 15 different military regulations. Using enlisted personnel for personal benefit, fraudulent training programs, abuse of authority. We documented everything. Photos of the basement, receipts showing Miller purchased all materials, even recorded conversations where his wife thanked us for the renovation work. Monday morning, Parker marched straight to the Inspector General's office, filed a formal complaint with a 3-inch thick folder of evidence. The investigation moved fast. Within a week, investigators interviewed all 20 volunteers. Everyone told the same story. 3 weeks of unpaid construction work, 0 actual training, complete abuse of authority. Miller tried claiming it was legitimate team-building exercise. Hard to explain why his personal basement needed a wet bar for military training purposes. The consequences were swift and brutal. Miller faced Article 15 proceedings for fraudulent enlistment of soldiers, misuse of government resources, and conduct unbecoming an officer. He got reduced in rank, forfeited 2 months' pay, and received a permanent letter of reprimand. Career effectively over. No chance of promotion ever again. The really satisfying part? Command ordered Miller to compensate each volunteer for 3 weeks of skilled labor. We each received $2,400 in back pay, plus the investigation time counted as legitimate training hours. 6 months later, Miller got transferred to some desk job in Alaska. His wife had to sell the house because they couldn't afford the mortgage without his captain's salary. That beautiful basement renovation? The new owners turned it back into storage space. All that work, completely wasted. Parker made sergeant ahead of schedule. His initiative in reporting the fraud impressed command so much they fast-tracked his promotion. Real leadership development, unlike Miller's fake program. Last I heard, Miller was working as a civilian contractor somewhere remote, still dealing with the fallout from his basement scam. The Army now requires all training programs to have official documentation and oversight. They call it the Miller Protocol, named after our favorite captain who thought he could turn soldiers into his personal construction crew.